if you are an instructor, you're not going to know about music licenses laws necessarily because that's not your business. But Peloton should have been on the case about that. And I'm sure they held their hands up to that. But I also wonder if that was the matter, because I think that's relevant to anyone listening to this, is that if you're instructing somebody else to do a totally separate job to music licensing, it's very likely that they're going to make the mistake accidentally, but it's going to fall on you as a business owner, or as a brand manager, etc. And there's really obvious giveaways. We look at brands, and when we're doing our audits of people's socials, it says original audio. So we can tell in a heartbeat whether or not they've downloaded the track initially. So that's a law broken anyway, just for piracy. Yeah. So even if you do have the license to use a track, if you've downloaded it offline and you've uploaded it onto the platform, you're not using in-platform music. So unless you own the license, it is, unless you own the license, then, so if we can spot it, you damn well know that there will be people employed by record labels to go around looking for this stuff. In fact, they'll have AI scraping it, I bet.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. And I wouldn't be surprised if if I was a rights owner of a large catalog of music, I would be creating a piece of software that's scraping to find out who's using it, and then cross-referencing how many posts, what kind of engagement they've had from the post, and cross-referencing that with the revenue that they've declared. And then I would have thresholds. Once it hits a certain threshold, and if they've been in breach, then we go for them, because then it's worth our time. So it's like
£1,000 on black that already exists. But if they haven't, maybe we should just leave Hear Me Out behind and just do music license scraping.
Let's cut that out. Let's cut that out so nobody steals the idea. But you know what I mean? Because it's like, you will get away with it if you're small. But then who's building a brand to be small? Like if you're a fashion house right now and you've only got 10,000 followers, you want to have 10 million followers. And if you're using music illegally now and it's on record, they can come after you retrospectively. It's not like there's a statute of limitations in terms of time frame that you can be well, there might be, but it's like 25 years if it's copyright or something. So
and also, who's building a brand that wants to risk being sued? I know there's people that are rogue out there, and I can't see many people being rogue enough to want to risk that awkward meeting where something has gone wrong. And also, I think we're also forgetting about true identity for brands here as well. There's a cultural argument to be had about using music that's culturally relevant and trying to tap into a market and utilizing songs. But I'm yet to speak to somebody that actually has seen the benefit of spending so much money on a license, and sometimes these are 6 figures upwards, to have a particular track, commercially released track by a certain famous artist, and they've seen the rewards financially of spending that much money on it as well. So I think the tables are turning. I think there was a time where using a track that was very, very popular had its benefits, but I think now there's so many other things in play that make a difference on whether or not a campaign is successful. That really, I think the biggest benefit you'll have is spending money in a very intentional way to have identity for your music, that you can keep consistency to an absolute maximum. And that's where you're going to see the most benefits.